Welcome to the TeenPreneur Show. I'm your host, Dia Coley, and I'm a teenpreneur, bringing you global entrepreneurs who are teenagers. They have started out really young and are an inspiration to all. They prove to be the perfect example of how teenagers can rise high. So tune into this show every week to know more about these young game changers and be inspired by these teens. Watch the young dream big. Now on with the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the TeenPreneur Show. I'm your host, Dia Coley, and I'm the founder of Redone It by Dia. I just want to say I'm so grateful for everything that's been happening so far with the TeenPreneur Show. It is our 1 year anniversary. But now let's get on with the show. Today's host is Adriana Rose. She's 16 years old and from Florida. Let's bring her on. Hello, Adriana. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. It's so nice to meet you. How about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. As you guys heard, my name is Adriana Rose. I am 16 and I'm from Southwest Florida, so that's super fun. I am a model and an actress, and yeah.
Great. So let's start by talking about how you are a model. So can you tell us when did you get into this type of career area?
Of course. So, modeling for me was a completely chance thing. I wasn't really planning on it at all. It kind of
Hmm.
just happened, and I went to a local casting call and I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? Why not do it just for fun, just to see if I make it? And I actually did make it, and the company flew me out, and I did a shoot and landed in their magazine. And from there, I
Wow.
kind of took off on Instagram and
Yeah.
built my way up.
Wow, that's so amazing. And I know you're also into pageants. So did pageants come first or was it modeling?
Oh no, pageants are a very, very recent thing for me. I've
Uh-huh.
only ever done one before, and that was also kind of a chance thing. I was invited to compete in the pageant, and I was like, you know what? Why not try something new? So I tried
Yeah.
pageantry, and it was really nothing like I expected. I expected it to be, this brutal, cutthroat thing, but all the girls were so incredibly nice to me, and I made so many new
Mhm.
friends.
Oh, that's so great. Can you tell us some things that, like some brands or companies that you have modeled for?
Yeah, so I am actually an influencer for Gully Gummies, which are in local stores everywhere, to be honest.
Mhm.
I do mostly like social media stuff, so I can brand ambassador clothes, jewelry, hair products, a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, and you know, usually on the show we bring business owners and more of the traditional entrepreneurs, but not only do you have your own business, but you're also the new type of entrepreneur, which is an influencer. So that's really unique. Can you tell us your experience so far of being an influencer?
Yeah, so influencing has been something very interesting for me. It has been very new and definitely something I've had to work to learn and
Yeah.
to use to my benefit, essentially. And influencing has been very rewarding, but at the same time, it can be very also cutthroat. And
Uh-huh.
through that, I've learned that bullying is very, very prevalent in influencer work, which is also why I, in a segue into, I started my company, Babes Against Bullying, to help
Mhm.
spread awareness of bullying on Instagram and bullying of young girls around my age.
Yeah, wow, that's so amazing. So when did you start that business?
So I started it over a year ago now, and
Wow.
so far, things have been going really well. I have established a platform on Instagram already, over 15K on there. Woo! And things
Wow.
have been really good. I've recently done a runway show with my brand in it, so things are definitely picking up for Babes Against Bullying.
Wow, that's so amazing. And I love how everything's very interconnected with all of it, with the modeling, the runway, and your business. So can you tell us a little bit more about your business? What type of products do you sell?
So I sell things that range from, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, crop hoodies, things like that.
Okay, cool. And where can someone buy your products?
You can find my products at adrianarose.com.
Okay, great. Wow, very simple, really easy to find.
Yes.
And so how do you go through the designing process of it?
I've always been a very creative person, so when it comes
Mhm.
to designing things, I like to be simple, use pen and paper, put my thoughts down, and kind of just go with it, go with the flow, and write down things that I like and things I don't like, things I want to incorporate, colors, and that kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
go with whatever comes, and it usually works out really well.
Well, that's great. And a lot of businesses usually pick a theme to go by. Do you have a theme that you put with yours?
It's more of like a cute and casual kind of theme. So I have hearts
Hmm.
on my clothing. Its theme is more of like a black and red type of thing.
Yeah.
Most of my logos incorporate red or black because those are like my favorite colors.
That's super cool. And I feel like those also go with the name Rose in it, with your last name. So it really incorporates like that. Um, and you're also a really big influencer. You have thousands of followers. Do you use that platform to kind of promote this business?
Of course, all the time. I am always using my platform to promote, and anytime I come out with anything new or anything along that line, I will always promote it on my Instagram.
Wow, great. So I know, especially nowadays with social media being such a big platform, a lot of teens are trying to become influencers. Do you have any tips for how to build your profile and how to really become an influencer?
So my tips would be figure out what you want to do and who you are. I know those are heavy things, but once you
Mhm.
figure those things out, nobody else is you. You are unique to whatever you want to do, and that is your strength and your power. So use that correctly and really solidify what you stand for and what you believe in, and the right people will come. And yeah, just always keep striving to do your best, and you'll do great.
Yeah, that's some great advice. And so, like I said before, social media is super important. And every time I ask the question, which social media platform is the most important, everyone mostly says Instagram. My question for you is what other platform is just as important as Instagram for an influencer?
For influencing, honestly, YouTube has been great. I've had
Hmm.
lots of success on YouTube. I'm actually verified on YouTube, which is super fun.
Wow.
But and YouTube as a platform is so incredibly helpful because you can learn anything you want. You can spread awareness about your brand, which is mostly kind of what
Hmm.
I do, and I use it for fun as well. But it's so important because you can literally learn anything, and it's so beneficial to all age groups.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about your YouTube career? What types of videos do you post?
Most of the videos I do are like shorts and things like that from my actual Instagram. So I kind of take the content from Instagram and put it on YouTube.
Oh wow, that's super cool. And that's something I would love to check out. So could you tell us maybe how do you plan what you're gonna post as an influencer and what captions and hashtags and all those decisions, how do you go through that process?
So when I have a post, I actually make it early and I draft it for a little while. So, but
Hmm.
I actually have an amazing helper. My manager, aka mother, does so much for me and really helps me with that. So,
Oh, that's great. And kind of stirring back to your business, can you tell us the process it was like making the business, starting off, and how it got to kickstart?
so starting off, I had a pretty strong idea of what I wanted to do. Make a business directed to the awareness of bullying and spread it. So
Yeah.
I started creating logos and thinking about what I wanted it to be and
Mhm.
incorporating my favorite colors, like I said.
Wow, that's great. And is this the first business that you've ever had experience with?
Oh, yeah, definitely my first.
Okay, so how was that? Was it like scary to start off?
It was a bit scary, but I've had an amazing support system.
That's great. And so how has your business grown since that starting point?
Tremendously, in my opinion. I've had so many great things, like I said, that runway show that I just did, and
Yeah.
I've had, like I said, so much support. Sorry, I'm like a little bit.
No, you're okay. Yeah, totally. So what, how, let me figure out how to phrase this. How do you use your business platform to also make awareness about bullying? Because I know you have your logos that mention it, but how do you spread awareness about this issue?
Honestly, like I said before, it's mostly me using my Instagram and the runway show and word of mouth mostly.
Word of mouth. Okay. Have you done any other events like the runway before, or is this the runway's your first big event?
The runway was a super new thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Is it something that you want to do in the future as well?
Oh, for sure, it was such a blast.
That's great. And can you tell us a little bit about how that was like setting it up, who came on your runway, and things like that?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, of course. Can you tell us the process of like the runway, who came on, how did you get in contact with them, maybe how it went through, your experience with it?
Yeah, so I actually was a model for the specific runway show that I put my brand in called the Deck the Runway. So I
Hmm.
contacted them and I figured out how to get my brand in there. We figured out models together and organized it all, and it went from there.
Oh, that's so great. And kind of moving on, I also know that you are an actress. So can you tell us a little bit about that side?
Ironically, I'm actually on set in the Outer Banks filming a movie right now, which is why the background
Wow.
looks like this. Um, I started acting like um, pretty much a year and a half ago, I'd say. I
Okay.
do a lot of horror and comedy and stuff like that, but um, for me, it's super fun, and I love being able to take on another personality, as one would say. Um, it's been a really, really cool experience for me. Very much learning
Wow.
experience as well.
Wow, that's so great. So why did you get into acting?
Honestly, it's ironic because that was also a chance thing for me. I had the opportunity, and I was like talking to my mom about it, and we were like, why not just try it? I mean, worst comes to worst, you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. But I did.
Yeah,
I fell in love with it, and here I am now.
that's so great. So how many productions have you been a part of so far?
Several. If I were to count them, I don't think I'd have enough fingers. But I've worked with a lot of great people, and I'm
That's
really excited for
great.
things to come out because editing just takes forever. But I'm so excited to finally see things coming out this year, hopefully.
Yeah. And so you've been a part of many different things. could you maybe tell me where did you start off? What was the first type of path that you got into?
For acting or influencing or modeling, which one?
For all of them, which path did you kind of start off with? Because I feel like they're also very interconnected.
Yeah, so I started off with modeling, and then
Okay.
that went to acting, and then that went to becoming a business owner and that kind of thing.
Oh wow. Okay, great. So, when you started off acting, is that the career that you saw yourself getting into, or was this more like the chance thing that you were talking about?
For sure, chance. I've always had dreams to be a NICU nurse, which I still do, but I'm kind of undecided on what I want to pursue right now.
Yeah. And can you tell us how has it been balancing all these different career type of routes?
It's definitely been an interesting experience trying to balance it, but I'm homeschooled
Mhm.
now, so things have been a lot easier for me as far as time management goes.
Yeah. And do you have any tips for people who are also like trying to time management, all those things that they're doing?
I would say figure out your priorities, make a list, and figure out what is the most important to you, and I guess figure out how to make time for that, and
Mhm.
sacrificing things and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's some great tips. And how has, over the past couple of years, how have you felt being an entrepreneur and doing all these things as an influencer, as a model, as an actress? How has it been overall?
It's been an experience for sure. Definitely faced a lot of hate, a lot of bullying, which is, you know, like I said, why I created the brand in the first place. But
Yeah.
the bullying has honestly just made me so much stronger as a person and as an individual. So I'm grateful for the chance that I got to become stronger.
Yeah, wow, that's so amazing. And your business has such a strong message behind it too. It's just incredible that you're continuing it even though you're so busy with all your other activities. So that's just amazing. A little bit more about your business. How have you learned to advertise and market your products?
A lot of that goes back to my social media and how I advertise it and how I'm always kind of posting it and always
Yeah.
saying, hey, check out Babes Against Bullying again. I have new things and, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I feel especially as an influencer, you have the pre-existing knowledge of how to, use social media and all these things, but there's a lot of business owners out there who have trouble picking out their target audience and how to advertise. Do you have any tips for those?
Yeah, so I would just think back to your very initial thoughts of what you wanted in your brand, um,
Hmm.
what things you wanted to sell, what kind of gender you're going for, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. And how long did that process, I know it's usually called like the research process, take for you?
I'd say probably a solid few months. It actually went rather
Yeah.
quickly for me just because I had so much help.
Yeah. And were you ever discouraged during that time?
Oh, for sure, because as you know in life, like nothing ever really goes the way you want it to. So
Yeah.
designs were just being rejected and things weren't working out. Like the website was down and crashing. So I
Hmm.
definitely did get very discouraged, but I pushed through and I'm happy that I did.
That's great. Because that's a problem many business goes through. There's always challenges, but you never want to, settle for those challenges. You want to overcome them. Um, what other challenges did you go through, not only from the beginning, but during the whole business process? Did COVID impact your business negatively, or were there other challenges?
It did kind of affect my business just because when COVID hit, it was hard for me to find motivation just because everyone was quarantined and
Mm-hmm.
it was just really hard for me to kind of find that motivation to get up again after being discouraged, and it
Yeah.
definitely was a challenge for me, but yeah, it was a very much a challenge, but I'm here now and I'm excited to get going on new things for my brand.
Yeah, that's great. And do you have any future plans that you want to might let us know in for your brand?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be going back to my pen and paper method, or like pencil, and I'm going to start coming up with new, more minimalistic designs and things that you would
Cool.
see in a store targeted towards, teens my age and girls my age going through the same kind of things.
Wow, that's great. And when do you plan on launching this if you kind of have a date in mind?
Hopefully, I can get started when I get home, since
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of town right now. But
Yeah.
once I get home and I can get in the headspace and focus on what I'm doing, hopefully, it'll be out in the next few months.
Oh, that's so great. And I know you probably have done some launches before for your other products. Could you tell us how it's been for managing how you want to launch it? When do you want to launch it? How do you come up with those decisions?
Um, for those things, I've kind of thought about like corresponding dates and numbers. I'm kind of like a number person a little bit, so I like corresponding numbers and that kind of thing. Um, but mostly, I've kind of came out with things all at once. So I've had one launch date, and hopefully, this next launch date that I'm planning on is going to be something bigger.
Yeah. And do you keep like the last season stuff still on your website or do you cycle them out?
I keep everything on there pretty much just in case someone likes the
Okay.
older stuff and I get rid of it and
Yeah.
they're like, no, I like the older stuff. So I just plan on keeping everything on there for everybody to see.
Yeah, that's great. And I know a lot of businesses, especially influencers, like to do events on their social medias like giveaways or FAQs. Do you do stuff to kind of connect with your followers?
Yeah, so I've actually done giveaways quite a few times before.
Cool. Yeah, could you tell us maybe a little bit about those giveaways? What types of items you like to pick and choose, and how you like to set up your giveaways?
So I actually do a lot of my giveaways on my main Instagram. Um,
Mhm.
and those are in partnership with other people. So a lot of the stuff is
Okay.
kind of the usual like iPhone giveaway stuff, but sometimes I will throw in a piece from my brand and kind of put my
Yeah.
own little flair to it.
Okay, that's super cool. Have you noticed a positive change from giveaways? Do you think they're worth doing it, or do they not really help as much?
It can definitely be hit or miss. It really depends
Okay.
on who you're working with and obviously what you're giving
Mhm.
away.
Yeah, so can you tell us maybe that decision process? What do you choose to give away? And I know a lot of giveaways have, the specific descriptions underneath. So how do you kind of go through that decisions?
I think about like the kind of people that would be following me or seeing
Hmm.
this giveaway. So I think about like generic things, maybe like a t shirt or even a hoodie or just a regular long sleeve. things that are pretty easy to be flexible with different people.
Yeah. Okay, that's some great advice. Um, and what other tips could you give businesses about maybe different types of events that they should use to get more interaction on their social media?
For sure. So, like I mentioned before, runway shows, if your brand is like clothing or accessories or things like that, runway shows can
Mhm.
be very beneficial. There's a lot of eyes on you when your brand's going out, and choosing the
Mhm.
models and choosing what they wear is super, super fun anyway. So, definitely give that a shot if you're up to it.
That's great. And so finally, I know you have a bunch of different areas that you're interested, and I also you said that you have an interest in a different field. But where do you kind of see yourself in the future? Do you want to be an influencer still, or do you want to get into a new path?
In the future, I am definitely planning on kind of staying where I am, like modeling, acting, that kind of thing. I have high
Hmm.
hopes for my brand, and I'm excited to be designing new things because I'm super artsy. So I really love applying myself in that way. So
Great.
I have big things planned for my brand, and I'm so excited to share it with the world and hopefully share bullying awareness with the world. Because my main goal with my brand is just when somebody's wearing it, I want them to feel like they're not alone, and I want to share
Yeah.
that message to everyone that you're not alone. Bullying is not okay, and we're not going to support it. And we're going to bring awareness to the fact that young girls are bullied so bad on the internet, and it needs to be
Mhm.
stopped. So that was my main goal. Um, but I plan on kind of staying where I am, like I said, and just taking things further and seeing how far I can go.
Wow, that's so great. And again, your message with your business is so powerful. And I hope you keep doing it. And I hope it's super successful also in the future. Um, do you want to share your social media handles with our audience before we sign off?
Of course. So you can follow me on Instagram at Avriana, Avaryana. On YouTube, I'm also at Avriana, Avaryana Rose, and pretty much all my platforms are Avriana Rose. So if you want to follow me, go right ahead. And thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Adriana, for joining us today and talking about your business and all the things that you've been doing. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And make sure to tune in next week.
Thank you for watching the TeenPreneur Show with Dia Coley. Follow us for more information at teenpreneur.show on Instagram. To be a part of the show, fill out the form in the Instagram bio. See you next week!